Gundam.tk presents High Grade AGE-1 Titus. Hey again everybody, it's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs from YouTube and Gundam.tk. Good to have you here as the advanced grade is about to be replaced because the high grade AGE-1 Titus is all complete. So let's take a look at the individual parts. Here are the body parts that you're going to get when everything's put together, and remember, you're not going to be getting any weapons except for the many effect parts. No, I'm just kidding. There's 14 there, and you're going to get the 2 for the lariat. Starting with the legs, and it takes me back to the whole idea of the wear system being announced for the AGE-1, and I wondered, will it get repetitive to build the same body and over again, and just do new limbs? And the answer from building this high grade is no, it's not repetitive at all, because these limbs are so interesting to put together. So in terms of moving parts, you've got the hips, of course, which are going to go around here and up and down. The bend of the knee is going to bring you here, and you'll notice that there's gray exposed on both sides. This red part here just slaps on top of the gray, which is good, and you'll be able to put the effect parts in there. They have these little little holes there that you could call rivets or whatever. Put a little bit of lining if you choose, but the most interesting part was the way they attached the ankle, because you'll notice from the front that you do have this small white piece of plastic, which was a great bonus that they put it on there. And the ankle has a fair bit of mobility, and where that comes from is the fact that you've got this gray part that attaches down there on a ball joint and up there as well. So everything's going to move, and so far it seems pretty stable, along with a great bend. I have to give the AG credit for at least putting on 2 white pieces as they just slap on, but remember, these don't move at all on the advanced grade. The waist is mostly the same as the AGE-1 normal, and you're going to have the most important parts, the moving parts for the hips. It's going to go this way and rotate forward and back, so you've got tons of opportunities to move things around there. The front skirts are going to flip up, but not independently, and the side skirts do not get in the way of the legs going up and down at all. It's just a simple ball and pin socket there, and then you put the part on. For here, you're going to have the red parts in the back, which is a large piece, and yellow parts there, and this mystery clothes hanger. I was a huge fan of this chest for the AGE-1 normal, and it continues even more so, I think, with the Titus. First of all, you're going to have lots of color variations from the gray, red, blue, yellow that you can see there. These yellow vents here are done better than they're done on many master grades. The sticker looks great and a big step up on the advanced grade. This yellow part, I'm not really crazy about the way I lined it there. Maybe you could add some gray paint in there just to mix it up. The back part is looking good, no advanced grade, so you don't need to put anything inside, but the fact that you're getting all of these different gray parts showing out from very few parts as you just stack the blue on top of it looks great, but the best addition, when you put this together, you're going to be wasting a few parts from the A-plate because you're going to be getting red shoulders, and I thought if this had white shoulders or blue shoulders, the Titus wouldn't look anywhere near as good, and they're going to give you this kind of mobility, but most importantly, just a sense of style. The AG waist does a pretty good job of capturing all the main colors, except on the back where you're not going to see it, and you'll notice there's no gray in the upper body, and it's missing the very cool sticker, which would have made all the difference along with those red shoulders I was just raving about. Ultimately though, it's not the Hulk's body that's the most important, it's his arms, and the Titus certainly came through here. First of all, when you're putting it together, I was impressed the way you've got 2 big gray pieces there with another one underneath, and when you do that, you're going to notice that you get this independent moving part here with a red part that covers it up, so even if you look at it from that angle, nothing showing of the inner frame except the parts that they want you to see down here, which is looking great along with the addition of those rivets and a little bit of lines. But what really impressed me, and I'm surprised that they didn't advertise this anywhere, is that you're actually able to pop this shoulder forward. And it's not just popping off the red part from the outer armor, you're sliding out one of the gray parts from the other 2 on the inside, and it reveals some little lining in there if you want, but basically you can just bulk them out even more, unicorn style, and I don't know why that's not on the side of the box, because that, I think it looks really good, as you'll see when it's put together. In terms of attaching the effect parts, you'll notice that there's a little, it's not just a round circle there, they have to go in the right way, but everything up here is looking good. And when you add in the fact that you're going to get these white parts there, the gray that shows underneath, a bend that's going to give you a 135, and the fact that they went to the trouble of giving you gray parts down there on the wrists, in addition to the comically oversized hands, when you put these hands together, these arms are worth the price of admission alone, it seems. Not to mention that you can pop that down similar to these shoulders, reveal some more lines, but more importantly, that's going to be used for the lariat. The advanced grade does have that much for the gray, but remember it doesn't move, and pretty much enough said. The effect parts are looking pretty good, and you actually take 2 parts and put them together for both of these, so you can have it on the left and right forearm. You'll notice that there's some little parts in there. You could probably shave those down, but every once in a while I found out, especially with clear parts, it's good to leave a little bit of excess. It just lets everything stay on there better. Pretty much identical, and when you put it onto the forearm, you do it by popping off the manipulator and the guard there, and when you just slide this on, if you put it on the right way, it's actually going to fit in fairly well, and then you can just put this part back on, and he's ready to go into action. For the beam shoulder tackle and the beam knee kick, I thought that the fact they give you this many effect parts is great. There's 14 in total, 4 for either shoulder and 3 for either knee. I figured that they'd give you 4 at most because you'd only be using 1 limb at a time. But anyway, they gave you 14, and they went to the trouble of actually putting a bit of a bend on it there, and it's got that little notch, which means it has to be attached the right way. And when you put them into the knee, you sort of lose something just because they're on the red, but you'll notice that they're coming out at an interesting angle, and yes, that would do a fair bit of damage. I think the Infinite Justice could invest in 3 of these. Here they are on the shoulder, and you'll notice that again they're coming out at an angle. They have to go in the right way with that notch. But if you do slide this part forward and reveal the gray, because the gray parts that actually support them move under the red parts, you'll have no problem with them in either mode. And though they don't have a notch or anything gray to hold them in, they will fit in some of the parts for the advanced grade, although don't count on them staying there too well. For the shoulder, if you push them in straight, they'll usually stay in, although gravity may not be your friend here. If you like the head on the AGE-1 normal, you'll like the head on the Titus, because actually they're identical. And I wonder, what if they had done something different, like taken out this gray part and put in a red part? First of all, the fact that you get a gray part on a high grade 1/144th is great. You've got good lining there, opportunities. The eyes look great, very different from the advanced grade, the way it's put together. I put some green paint in there, which sort of sploshed around. And when you add the sticker, you do get the age effect. It's not going to look this good without lining and painting. But I still wonder if they could have done something more to make it a little bit more Titus-y. So in terms of the parts, I have to say I'm pretty ecstatic with the way everything came out. There's hardly anything that I'd change at all. The legs are a great build, tons of white parts and the gray parts, and even the little details like the red on gray there. The shoulders having a gimmick in there that's not even advertised is great, with all that gray protruding as well. The way that you've got gray all around these white parts and even down to the details of the manipulator. The fact that you've got tons of effect parts and you can put the lariats on with such ease. Basically, there's not too much I can say other than this thing is looking great. However, it's got to look good as a mobile suit, and that's the next part. So why don't you come back here, check it out. Don't forget to check out gundam.tk and my YouTube channel. Great to hear from you anytime with a comment down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya.